To infinity and beyond!
What was the big challenge on making the Toy Story?
I think Toy Story became the standard that lifted the bar.
Hello? Oh, yeah! Hey!
Toy Story is the first fully computer animated feature film.
The first computer-generated full-length feature film.
This technique is going to probably revolutionize animation in the future.
The first computer animated film ever to win an Academy Award.
Well, actually, you're a part of film history now because this is a breakthrough.
This is the very first.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
I got some good news and I got some bad news.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
It was much harder to actually make it than I thought it was.
It was horrible. We call it Black Friday.
The Woody character became wildly unappealing at one point.
They said, what happened? This is like unlikable, unwatchable.
It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had as an actor.
And it was a disaster.
You work harder and harder to make the same amount of money, and it's pretty difficult.
The company was running out of money.
So they wanted to shut the production down.
And we were in danger of being just stopped and shut down.
December of 1983. I was dead broke.
A computer animation group, part of film director George Lucas's empire, was for sale.
So I came up to start working with Ed in the Lucasfilm computer division.
They were on the road to try to do an animated movie, which is a very expensive endeavor. And, I helped them by hooking him up with Steve Jobs.
And I first got involved in this when I heard about this incredible group of computer graphics specialists that George Lucas had assembled at Lucasfilm that he wanted to sell.
He, of course, had been kicked out of Apple. So when he first met with us, he wanted to buy us out, to turn us into the computer company he wanted to make.
And so I went up there and saw what they were doing, and I met the leader of this group, Dr. Ed Catmull. And Ed told me about his dream, which was to make the first computer animated feature film someday.
Our dream was to make a computer animated film.
So George brought Steve Jobs to come in and look at some of this very early, comparatively primitive, crude computer animation.
And showed me what this team was working on.
And Steve Jobs was blown away.
And I was blown away.
Steve purchased the Lucasfilm Computer Graphics Research Group from George Lucas.
And we bought the computer division from George.
And spun it off into an independent company.
And incorporated it as Pixar.
We know today as Pixar.
And so I bought into that dream, both spiritually, if you will, and financially.
Tell us how it all started.
Ed had gathered the greatest minds in computer animation research, and this small group in San Rafael, California, was developing this incredible technology.
I went to John and said, can we do an animated short that's a Pixar short?
And there was a Luxo lamp sitting there on my drawing table. I started thinking, what would a baby lamp look like?
Here he gives inanimate objects personalities and tells a simple and beguiling story.
I spent a lot of time in computer graphics with the Macintosh and the laser writer and stuff, but this was way beyond anything I'd seen. Pixar invented all this stuff.
Lasseter had made his first film for Pixar. It was a 1.5-minute short called Luxo Jr.
It was this great little idea that I had gotten from looking at videotape of my nephew playing with his toys. I thought, imagine what it must be like to be a toy. That baby is like a monster.
And then all of a sudden you make them look at it from a different point of view. Looking at a cute little baby from a toy's perspective.
In 1988, Pixar won the Best Animated Short Academy Award for Tin Toy.
The first computer animated film to ever win an Oscar. Its success fueled their dreams of creating a full-length movie by computer.
But the most important thing that Tin Toy did was plant in our heads the idea of toys being alive. And when it came time to do our first feature film, I went back to the idea of toys being alive that we developed in Tin Toy.
These are based on animated films from the late 40s and 50s.
The thing we focused on was trying to make a really good story with some great characters, because that's what audiences really care about.
The director goes out and shoots lots of film, typically between 10 and 100 times more footage than will end up on the screen.
In animation, the actual production of the footage is so time-consuming. We can't really afford to do a scene 10 different ways.
So how do you do it? Well, Walt Disney himself solved this problem decades ago. And the way he solved it was he said, we have to edit our film before we make it, not after.
You pretty much edit your film in advance. You start with the script, and then what we do is we do storyboards. It took us a long time to build the technical foundation to do this stuff.
Had to be modeled, had to be, the software created in order to do it, had to be placed, had to be directed. So you have to understand,
every frame has to count.
Next, I want to talk about scale and complexity. Toy Story is 79 minutes in length, and every frame is totally synthetic.
And film runs at 24 frames a second, and this film is 77 minutes long. And each frame of film took a computer 4 to 9 hours to compute one frame.
The full production was 2.5 years.
It's 114,000 frames, about 1,600 different shots, 160 billion pixels in this film.
I mentioned I worked 4 years on Toy Story. The first year and a half was story development alone.
So that's a feeling for some of the scale.
John, was it hard to get Tom Hanks interested in the project?
I must say that I never knew anything about Toy Story without John Lasseter being the guy who was there.
All right, listen. No one's getting replaced.
And then what we did is we took his voice from Turner and Hooch and actually animated an early computer model of Woody speaking the Turner and Hooch dialogue.
Don't eat the car! Not the car! Oh, you stupid dog!
And I showed that to him, and he just loved it. And so we worked with him for about 10 different recording sessions over a 2.5-year period.
So about every 6 months, you go into a recording studio, and you have to do 18 variations of something like this. Buzz, if we don't get back there, I'm gonna go absolutely bizarre! And it's all your fault! What?
My fault? If you hadn't pushed me out of the window in the first place...
Oh, yeah!
When you look at a toy animated, nobody really knows how a particular toy is going to act.
The definition of animation is to give life to. And to me, one of the definitions of character animation is that an object moving around have got to appear as though they're driven by its own thought process.
When the kid is out of the room,
This is Andy we're talking about.
the toys come alive and they have some terrific adventures.
2 days of the year are the most scary for them. That's a birthday and Christmas.
What if Andy gets another dinosaur?
And they are like worried about being replaced.
I just don't think I can take that kind of rejection.
The fact that no one else had made a film like this, we were really like kind of jumping into the deep end of a swimming pool to learn how to swim.
This one was fabulous. I was so impressed with what they've done with it.
Fortunately, it came out really well.
I wouldn't doubt that they're thinking right now, that wouldn't be a bad idea to do another Toy Story.
What's next for you after Toy Story?
So, we meet again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time.
It was horrible. We call it Black Friday.
Toy Story was set for a Thanksgiving 1995 release, and as the date neared, the volume of work exploded.
You can't rush art.
You work harder and harder to make the same amount of money, and it's pretty difficult. We had 25 incredibly talented people there doing work for hire. You don't share in any of the upside. You just get paid for the work once.
It was really horrible. They said, what happened?
I have never been more intimidated in the recording studio.
Unlikable, unwatchable.
You'll all be ruined, forgotten, spending eternity rotting in some landfill.
Great people are hard to find, and we couldn't afford to have 25 of them making commercials anymore.
When the company was running out of money, Steve Jobs wanted to fire the people who were making the short films.
And we were in danger of being just stopped and shut down.
They wanted to shut the production down.
Sheriff, this is no time to panic. This is the perfect time to panic.
The Woody character became wildly unappealing at one point.
And Woody was not likable at all.
Early Woody seemed a bit mean-spirited to his rival.
And so he kept pushing Woody, the main character, to be edgy and edgy and edgy.
And this is no joke. It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had as an actor. I've wrestled dogs and run through the jungle carrying guys in films. I have never gone into a recording studio for Woody without wishing it was already over.
They thought, you clearly can't do it yourself. We're going to move you down. And you're going to be right next to us while we develop the story with you, because you clearly can't do it on your own. I basically went to Peter Schneider and went to them and said, please, give us 2 weeks. Give us 2 weeks and let us turn things around. But we were able to work day and night, and we rewrote the whole beginning of the film.
Steve said, okay, now we are going to revolutionize this industry.
I want to talk for a minute about a place in history.
It was the first fully computer-animated feature.
The film earned over $192 million domestically, more than $300 million internationally,
making nearly $400 million worldwide.
The film became the #1 box office champion of 1995 and won a special Academy Award.
The United Rhythm Foundation, please help! I think Toy Story became the standard.
They felt real, like alive, and collided with each other in real and touching ways.
They were cartoony and they were moving like cartoons.
Every frame in that film pushes the story forward.
Its technology and success have revolutionized the business of animation.
It lifted the bar. It was able to appeal to both children and adults. I mean, to me, it's a wonderful adult film.
What Pixar is doing is, in effect, honoring the old Walt way of doing things, which is technical innovation that never forgets that it's about characters and story.
You'll be sitting around a campfire with Andy making delicious hot schmoes.
No amount of technology will turn a bad story into a good story.
The story is a classic buddy picture.
They're called s'mores, Buzz.
Right, of course.
You are a toy! For how much longer?
Toys are manufactured, put on this earth to be played with by a child. That is the core, the essence of Toy Story.
I'm here to... It doesn't matter how much we're played with. What matters is that we're here for Andy when he needs us. That's what we're made for, right?
Woody's afraid of Andy growing up and abandoning him.
He's learning about something they didn't face in the first movie, and that is the fact that kids outgrow toys. And a day is going to come when Woody is not going to be played with anymore.
Oh, the lost toy!
How much he feared that he was at the winters of his years.
The film taps into a lot of themes about being afraid of growing up and growing older.
How long will it last, Woody? Do you really think Andy is going to take you to college or on his honeymoon?
And it's wonderful because it really is about something. It's about friendship. And it's about a parent being able to let go.
I hope and I think people will have that same experience 50 years from now.
But none of them will ever love you the way I do.
It's going to have unique talents in itself that we will find boundaries for as we explore it over the next many years.
And as the years go by...
Technologically, we've gone way past Toy Story in CG animation and are improving on it every year. But if you look at Toy Story today, you're still sucked into that world.
And it's going to truly entertain and move, generation after generation and generation after moviegoers.